Hi everyone, I'm Anne from Botanical Tarot, and this is my review of the Ostara Tarot deck by Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook, Krista Gibbard, and Julia Iredale. I just received this deck about an hour ago, and I've just finished the initial opening and look through. I posted a very short video when I first opened it, and I just wanted to kind of expand on that and to provide more information and context. So in my first video, I commented on the beauty of the deck, and I stand by this. These ladies are talented, and the art has a way of speaking so softly, yet making itself really clearly heard. The colors are striking, and I felt an instant connection to so many of the images, and I'll speak more on this in a bit. I'll briefly show you a few of the cards here, and I've set aside some of my favorites, which I will show you afterwards. So first, I do need to comment a little bit about the quality of the cards. And for those of you who haven't watched my first video, it was just a little short thing. I was pretty disappointed to open the box and find that the card quality is severely lacking. To even look through the cards, even to see them for the first time, I had to peel each card individually apart because they were very stuck together and stiff. They came kind of really tightly together, and you had to sort of pry them, and you could even hear them kind of unsticking from each other, which in itself wouldn't have been so bad, but because it was so difficult to pry apart the cards in the process of this, and because of the lack of quality, they began to kind of start to fray at some of the edges. And you can even feel, I mean, the edges are not, it kind of, like, you can feel the kind of cardboardy feel to it, which tells me that it's going to start softening soon, and I don't know how much use I'll actually be able to get out of it with them still looking nice and fresh and new, which is a little bit disappointing. This surprised me a little because the quality of the box, and especially the booklet, is super high, as is the quality of the artwork. Just take a look at the box here for a second. It's beautiful. It opens up here. Got little ribbons to hold it together. The cards are kind of, the deck's divided in two, and they fit here nicely, which isn't my favorite way to have cards, but I mean, I probably am going to get some kind of satchel to carry them in anyway, so it's not the end of the world. This is the guidebook, and it's beautiful. All of the pictures are in color, which I love, because most guidebooks, the pictures are not in color, and you have to go through and find the cards when you're looking at them. It's beautiful. The book is really high quality. The descriptions are really wonderful, and I mean, just the artwork and their interpretation of them, I really connected with. So I did kind of want to say that before I spoke more on the cards. I would understand if the cards had started fraying after some use, but they haven't even had their first shuffle yet, and I was being pretty gentle with them, as I am with pretty much all of my cards. So what's more is that I began to notice some of the corners are already turning and fraying as well, and I haven't used them. I don't know if you can kind of see it. I don't know if I'm putting this up to the camera properly, but some of the edges are starting to curl. You can see it on this one a bit. All of these edges have just the slightest little curl to them, which I haven't used them yet, so I can only imagine that they're probably going to get a bit worse as I start shuffling and using the deck more often. I like to keep my cards in good shape, so I was a bit upset about this because I did pay $27 for the deck, which, I mean, it's not at the highest end of tarot cards, but, you know, it's also not at the lowest, and I just wanted somebody like me to keep this in mind. If you're a bit of a perfectionist about keeping your cards in good shape, this might not be the deck for you, at least not in their current state. I find them a little bit difficult to shuffle because they do stick a bit, but this could go away with time, and it isn't the case. Like, I've had this case happen with other new decks, and it went away, so that only time will tell. I did kind of find that with my Wild Unknown Tarot deck as well, but in that case it was more of like a rubbery feel that sometimes caught when I was shuffling, not so much a stickiness, and I'm finding that's going away. So take from that what you will. But I'm definitely not here to drag this deck because, as I mentioned previously, it is really beautiful, and I think the images will resonate with so many people. I'm actually mostly just disappointed because of how much I like the deck, and I really want to use it a lot, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm hoping in the future, and maybe they are already planning it, that they release a second edition with better quality cards, because if they do, I think I would probably rebuy and just give these away as part of like a, like a free contest or just to a friend. because that's how much I actually do like them. So anyways, on to what I do love about this deck, because I really don't want to dissuade anyone from buying, especially because they are so nice. These ladies are talented. There's really no doubt about that. You can see and feel the attention and detail and the input of love into these cards. So here are a few of my favorites, in no particular order. And it's not exhaustive because I really do like all of the cards in this deck. I don't know if you can see this. I'll try my best. Yeah, like just the imagery. The deck is very nature-oriented. The colors are vibrant and rich. The art loosely follows the traditional tarot symbolism, but it definitely deviates, so it may not be the best for the beginner, although honestly, the guidebook is beautiful and easy to follow, and the cards speak so clearly on their own that I think anyone could put it to use. This deck definitely draws on the feminine and nature vibe, and I'm really enjoying that. I don't usually like collaborative decks, but this one jives perfectly and seamlessly. Their art really complements each other, so it isn't distracting. This deck would have received a 5 out of 5 from me, but I'm probably going to give it a 3 because of the quality. Had it not been so lovely, I may have even lowered that to a 2.5, but honestly, I just like it so much. These artists are doing a really great job, and I really hope that they continue to spread their love of tarot and art and hopefully build upon this deck, because it really is something. Thank you for listening to my review, and please leave any comments below what you thought about the deck, what's your experience using it, and if you have the same deck as me and you kind of noticed the same issues with the quality of the cards, let me know how it's held up over time. I did see one other Amazon review that mentioned this happened with their deck when they first received it, and I just kind of assumed they had gotten just a bad one-off deck, so I went ahead and bought it. But I'm just kind of curious to know if maybe that is more of the case and other people haven't had this issue. I'm not sure. So leave your comments and let me know what you think.